guys, as we're moving along with the Civil War, and we see the Battle of Gettysburg. If you guys were able to go to the Washington, D.C. trip, some of you might have gotten to go to the actual Gettysburg battlefield as it's located right close by in Pennsylvania. This is considered the most decisive battle of the war. And the reason is because after this, it was really just a matter of time until the Union was going to be victorious. And the reason for that, wrong way. And the reason for that is because even though both sides lost a incredible amount of troops, the Union had more troops that they could afford to lose. And so even if they lose the same amount, since the Union had so many more troops, it would hurt the Confederacy much, much more. Now, this did last 3 full days. And if you can imagine being in war for 3 full days, it was really something that would be just horrible. But it did turn the tide squarely in favor of the Union. After this, it was really just a matter of time until the Confederacy was defeated. And of course, years after, there was the famous Gettysburg Address, which dedicated a cemetery to those that lost their lives in the Battle of Gettysburg. And here we see Gettysburg Address. This is supposed to be Abraham Lincoln. That's the best picture that I could find. I can't guarantee that's him, but it certainly could be. At any rate, this was a very short speech, and it perhaps was the most eloquent speech ever given by a president, even though it lasted such a short period of time. But it was truly inspirational, and it really is a marvelous, marvelous piece of speech writing and speech presentation. And it is worth taking a look at. Battle of Vicksburg. Well, as you can see, Vicksburg is circled right over here, and the reason why that's important is because this here is the Mississippi River, and Vicksburg was the last, or one of the key, I should say, Confederate strongholds on the Mississippi River. And the idea being that if you can take control of the entire Mississippi River, and the Confederates are on over here, Confeds, then they can't get past the Mississippi because the Union will prevent that from happening. And this would essentially divide the Confederacy in two, and it would prevent the Confederacy from helping each other. And that was the importance of the Battle of Vicksburg. William Tecumseh Sherman, that's what the T stands for. He was a Union general who did many things, but is probably most famous for capturing Atlanta on Christmas Eve. And there we see Atlanta, which of course is a major, major city then and now. And the capture of Atlanta also served as the starting off point for Sherman's march to the sea, in which he went from Atlanta all the way down to Savannah, and everything on the way was destroyed. And it was supposedly to teach Georgia a lesson, to make them howl, as he said. And hopefully they would never, ever think again, ever to do something as horrible as leave the Union, and this was supposed to punish them for that. Unfortunately, it probably had the opposite effect of just making the South that much more angry towards the North. Appomattox Courthouse, Virginia. This is the name of a city. It is not a courthouse. I know that's a very odd name for a city, and we know there are many odd names, but Appomattox Courthouse, Virginia is the name of the city. And the surrender happened in a private citizen's, a living room, for lack of a better term. And you can see General Lee and, of course, General Ulysses S. Grant there at the signing. And, of course, General Grant will go on to become President of the United States. 13th Amendment, as clear as can be, outlawed slavery. The text uses the term involuntary servitude, and that just also includes, of course, slavery. 13th Amendment is extremely important because it puts to the end of slavery. Now, of course, unfortunately, there was still lots of discrimination that went against former slaves, but at least legally and officially, slavery was now illegal in the United States. I think we all know John Wilkes Booth, the disgruntled Southerner who assassinated President Lincoln, and I forgot which movie it was, one of the Nicolas Cage ones where they have to track him down and all that other stuff. National Treasure, I think it was. But John Wilkes Booth was the guy who did it. And that is it.